Ulrich Salkau, you traitor! Hello. Recapping 4cc for men, pairs, and women, and you should know by now that I don't cover dance. I did hear though that Piper and Paul winning kind of disrupted something in the force. Losers this weekend. Lottes. So many falls on the Lottes. Let me make a little compilation. And if they didn't fail, they messed up, like Donovan Carrillo. My guy, my compatriot. He didn't have his best showing by far. Both Ulrich and Lutz betrayed him. Surprisingly, it was Axel who behaved. He had a pretty good Axel in the short. I'm proud. But he really needs to work on his stamina because he was running out of steam by the end of his free. And also better choreography because he has this tendency of just mixing song after song. And don't get me wrong, I know those songs by heart. I really like them individually, but together they don't build up to anything. Better program and better choreography are gonna make such a difference for Donovan. And I'm very proud of how far he's come. New quads, new horizons. The greatest winner, Dennis Ten's legacy. How special it is that Misha Shaidarov won 4 continents a decade after Dennis Ten. In the same country, in the same city, in the same arena. Truly a fairy tale result for Misha. I hope Dennis is resting easy knowing that his legacy is more than safe with Mikhail Shaidarov. From beginning to end, Misha really established himself as a favorite. Most predictions had him medaling, I had him winning. Even from last year, you could see this upwards trajectory. If Ilya or Yuma make mistakes at Worlds, I'm pretty sure he's gonna capitalize. At this point, I would be more surprised if he does not medal at Worlds than if he does. He is consistently good. What a win. Congratulations, Misha. Loser, my US predictions. Previously on Edges and Plates. Without Torgashev, I don't think the US men are gonna medal. I couldn't have been more wrong. But I did say that they were relying on clean performances. Jimmy Ma, ooh la la! Stand up for the ovation! Have I mentioned he's a very special performer? At full display in 4 continents. And a win for the 90s, babies! I wanted him to do very well. It's been very hard weeks for them. And it really didn't matter for me if he medaled or didn't. The fact that he did just makes it extra special. Gotta say that the whole podium had a narrative behind them. And it was very wholesome, honestly. The bronze medal for Jimmy was not only for him, it meant and represented so much more. Now the question is, who is going to Boston Worlds? Jimmy or Jason? Jason is so well regarded internationally that even without a quad, he still performs really well. Jason is a safe bet. But Jimmy has done very well this year. And Jason hasn't. I'm leaning more towards on sending Jimmy, meritocracy and all. I'd like to know your opinions in the comments. By the way, if Kande Pulkin is actually leaving us to become a full-time finance pro, at least he ends this season in a very good note. A winner nobody liked. Double toes. Besides Misha, pretty much everybody messed up. Starting with Kazuki. First of all, he's been injured, it is known. Second, even if he weren't injured, he's always been rather inconsistent. Third, there was a virus around that was affecting everybody. What did they give them in their food? It was poison, I know it was poison. Maybe I'm being lenient with men, but after the short I had 0 expectations for them. I expected them to men really hard. And the fact that Kazuki ended up 4th is commendable. Again, maybe it's just because I had 0 expectations for men, and so I'm so happy with the results at the end. There were no tragedies to be had. The other double quad, from Chajun-1. Tell me I said his name better. Jun is so good. He's skating like he hasn't been exempted from the military yet. Plus, finally he got his deserved PCS. Going into Worlds, hoping that neither Yuma nor Ilya will have some sort of mental breakdown in the middle of their programs, touching wood, it will be a very close race between Misha and Jun. Maybe too close for comfort. Winner, Kiss and Cry Shenanigans. I saw a lot of people shitting on the Japanese male team, because this is the first time since 2016, that they don't medal at 4cc. But hey, They've been injured, and Tatsuya's trying his best. He's never been consistent. Why is this suddenly a big issue? Honestly, he's not consistent, but he's reliable. He doesn't have a shot unless he goes clean and others make mistakes, but we know that. Tell you what, I like him even more because he was going along with everything that my chaotic child was doing. My favorite child, Kaio Miura, as Chris would say. To preface, I love Kao Miura. And this weekend he showed me a pattern of mine. My favorite children are definitely silly, they show respect to their competitors, and they have a good laugh at their mistakes. And maybe that last part rings very true because my mistakes eat me alive. Kao, that's what you get for trying to steal Jun's thunder in his house by trying a loop-in combination. Looked really good in practice, not gonna lie. Mr. My thigh does not hurt anymore. I didn't believe you when you said it. I still don't believe you. Take care of that injury, Kao. Please. Even though he finished 6th, he was having a grand time. As did I. It's also kind of funny that my Aussie babies and Kao are both doing the Umbrellas of Schackburg. It's like their stories are connected. Maybe their characters are in this love triangle and Nastia chose Hector and so they have their happily ever after and Kao is skating all alone because they have the 2 versions of the story. They have the love story final and Kao has the tragic one. I don't know guys, it was just a very funny coincidence for me. They're even color coordinated. I like this program. I think the music really suits Kao. Don't know if we will see it next year for Olympic year, but at least I had this. Losers. Canadian singles. I think Matthew Newman really surprised everyone with the short. He showed really good extension, really good qualities for skating. And then the whole team went really hard, including the girls. I kind of feel bad for Romsky fans because they have waited for him for so long, but his sleigh skates come like once every 3 years. Axel was a friend to Donovan, but it wasn't for Roman. Couldn't he, dropped below Donovan? At least Mexico would have been all happy because we could say like, oh, Donovan was top 10 at 4 continents despite his performance, But no, he couldn't do us a solid. And Maddie's scores were very harsh. My face was the same as hers. Small Fed Rapid Round. Darren Kapchi from Australia. What a great performance, great energy, super infectious. We love to see personality on the ice. Jirin Bayev from Kazakhstan. I really like his performance to the Godfather. Yet another Kazakhstani. Samodelkina looked very good in competition. Miles better than she did at the beginning of the season. Taiwanese Yu Xiang Li. With probably my favorite performance of the night, he had the skate of his life. I was trying not to fall asleep because it was very late for me, and he really woke me up. Well done. It was so emotional at the kiss and cry. I wanted to cry too for him. It was so sweet. Tara Prasad from India finally coming back after so many injuries and illnesses. And she was incredibly solid. And South African Jan Quinn. When I saw her, my first thought was, oh, I know you from juniors. You were in juniors a couple of years ago. And I particularly remember her because she was the reason why I'm so happy watching juniors to all of these small feds with a lot of talent. I love what she brings to figure skating, I really do. Also, do we consider China a small fed now? If so, they didn't have a good day at the office, but I still believe in the supremacy of his triple axel and the glorious Niven of his quad toe. Winners? Miniki! I know they didn't compete here, but they still won. Rikuryu once again claimed that 4 continents crown, but they keep up messing their throws. I don't know if something changed during their training or do they need to change something in their training about throws, but they are not skating clean. Miniki's best is 2:18 and Rikuryu are 2:17. Albeit really close to one another, Miniki has a better trajectory and they look better coming out of Europeans than Rikuryu from 4 continents. Last year, I spoke shit about Rikuryu's programs and they changed it and they delivered such great programs at Worlds, so I'm gonna talk shit again. Pair programs have been just rough this season. They are not memorable at all, or they are just borderline boring. And I don't like that. Rikuryu are the best skaters of the circuit and they continue having these mid programs. It's not even the music choice, it's just the build up to the ending. The silver medalists here, Diana Stellato and Maxime Deschamps, have exactly the same problem. This is pre-Olympic season. You should try new things. You should try it out, new styles, new things, just for you to get prepared for the Olympics, because I am sure we will have a ton of warhorses. Diana has all of the mental strength that the rest of Team Canada does not. And once again, they were injured before the competition. Can they please stop getting injured? Ay, ay, ay. They definitely did not skate their best, but they did enough. They did enough. Losers, death spirals. Only the US Tatarians got level 4s on the short program. And Junasumi level 4 in the free, woo! Let that sink in. Only 2 teams with a level 4. Yeah. Gotta say, that is a bit uncanny how much Efimova looks like Katia Gordieva sometimes. Both US teams have great transitions. In my opinion, Efimova and Mitrofanov should have been higher than Eli and Dani in the short. And I mean, both pairs messed up big time in the free. It really was a father's love that made Ellie land those throw jumps in the Grand Prix final. I hope her parents show up at Worlds. Do you know what made both US teams lose a medal? The other loser, Axel sequences. Basically, every single team messed their sequences from the exception of cousins, the Philippines. Yep, you heard that right. Isabella and Alexander were the only ones that did not mess up the Axel at all. Props to them, they also have a fantastic twist, by the way. All of this begs the question, should we go back to the reduced value on the Axel? That would mean the Euler makes a return, and I much rather watch a sequence over an ugly, ugly Euler. Even my Aussie baby's messed up. Is it just me or Nastia grew up a little bit? Is she a bit taller? Regardless of the answer, they need to work on the twist. It looks worse than they did last year, which is kind of worrisome. Hector seems to be the most affected by the mistakes they make. Nastia does show that she fights for every single element. And boy, are you hurt? Why are you grabbing your back like that? I hope you're not, mister. I'll continue loving my Aussie babies, they just need to put on a lot of work right now. But they are young and they show a lot of promise, they have very good chemistry. So I'm excited, I have not given up on them. And I never will. Nor shall I give up on the winners of tonight, and that is Yuna Sumi. Watching them grow as a pair is such a privilege. I cannot wait for 2030 when my Aussie babies and Yuna Sumi are going head to head for their Olympic gold medal. I can see it, I can feel it in my bones. Yuna Sumi is going places. I always praise Riku for having the best skating skills of the field, but Yuna Sumi, they are giving them a run for their money. Sometimes watching people skate on the TV or on the cell phone or a laptop or a computer, it's very hard to perceive how fast they go, but for them, I mean, just look at that. Their interpretation is also getting better and better every time I see them skate, especially on the short. Their twist is getting higher, they achieved a level 4 in the death spiral on the free. They didn't skate clean, they messed up on their side-by-sides are usually their strength. But we cannot forget, this is the first time they compete at 4 continents, and this is what they showed. Last year, they couldn't get even the minimum for Worlds, and this year, they might get into the top 10 at Worlds. Side note, but I love that Chris was so on board with my Aussie babies last year, and he's also on board with the Junasumi train. We know quality when we see that, don't we, Chris? Anyone can tell that Juna was very hard on herself, but darling, you're doing so good. Audrey Shin also had a very tough day. She had a very emotional reaction at the kiss and cry. It was also hers and Balasnagi first showing as a pair. And yeah, it was rough. But you know what? Chin up, girl. You got to 4 continents above so many other US pairs. The Federation clearly believes you have potential. Because you do. In the short, they did look more like individual skaters doing something together. I was kind of scared we would see like a situation with Aliona Kostornaya and Kunitsa, where she had much better skating skills, much better personality, and much bigger everything. But Audrey and Ballas do look nice together. They skate well together. They look like a pair, that's what I'm getting at. Audrey certainly lost her confidence when she messed up the Salchow because that would probably be the best element that they have. Nothing to be ashamed of. You have many years ahead of you. Losers? Hispanic music. This hurts me so much to say. I love that we have new music in the circuit because it's always great, and it was kind of expected that Gainish and Shigerev were gonna get nuked on components, and I really like the music that they chose for their free. It's so strange to me when I hear the singer say, "I hate you, you're a liar, our love meant nothing to you," and they go like, la 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 la, or it's so weird. I don't know if anyone else can perceive it that does not speak Spanish, but I kind of think they do because, I mean, how can you hear the song go like, "you fucking traitor," and you don't feel nothing? Like, come on. Just like with the Hungarians, I just think they need a choreography that really hides their weaknesses because their elements are great, but the interpretation, I mean, that's lacking. And Perrin and Michaud, also with a tango, they are the present and the future of Canada. It's just both the short and the free lacked the sharpness. And can we get him a better costume? He looked like he was going somewhere else. I kind of forgive them because she was very, very ill before the competition. It's again the choreography that is letting me down. The short has better nuances, so I can I can forgive that they were not at their best because they have been sick. Well, she was sick. But in the free, it was just meh. Maybe I'm just spoiled because I have actually watched a good tango competition. Like, you can look up this video. So, Leah and Trent, you are the losers, but you're also the winners. Congratulations on a bronze medal at 4 continents. I hope all you needed was a kick on the butt so you can do fantastic at Worlds. Winner! Step sequences. Shout out to Hyeon Kim, freshly out of juniors and stepping up to the plate. Wonderful step sequence. And of course, who else? Wakaba Higuchi. The more I watch her short program, the more I like it. Without a doubt, the best step sequence right now. Going into 4 continents, I really believe that she was the one to beat, even more so than Monet. Obviously, things didn't go to plan. She looked so pissed when she made the mistake on the lots in the short, and from them it was a very tough race. She just left herself too much to do in the free, and she made a mistake there as well. But truly, I'm not really worried about her performance at Worlds. I think she will do fine. Loser. Irish dances. First, Seon Lee dislocates his shoulder, so clearly he has to withdraw, and it's a shame because he had my favorite Irish dance. Then I totally forgot that Sarah also had an Irish dance for her short, and then we had them back to back, Brady and Sarah, and I don't like either. Props to Sarah, she has done tremendously well this season. In fact, crazy stat, if this is the end of her season, she had 0 falls. Yep, you heard that right. 0 falls all season. Consistency at its finest. But sometimes you have to ask yourself, do I like the skater or do I like the program? Or do I like the program for the skater? The thing is, sometimes you can like a skater but don't like the program, or simply you're liking the program because of the skater. And that's how I see Sarah at the moment. If she starts using more facial expressions, I will enjoy it more. But the program is kind of like, well, it could be better. Personally, I would send Sarah to Worlds and let Isabeau continue with her recovery and really get ready for the Olympics, because it will be a very tough race. And then Brady, oh Brady, she skated the best we have seen her all season long. I was not too surprised by her scores in the short. We know that the US really loves Brady, and she ate her free, she really did, I have to admit. I didn't think we would see her again in this form after all the injuries she had. This weekend though, she looked like 2019. The winner of tonight, Chaeyeon locked in Kim. 4cc is gonna become her event. She went into the ice knowing she had it in the bag. That's confidence, baby. She went there and did that. She is a new queen of 4cc. This was her territory and everybody was on her turf. She jumps with such ease, she looks so light, super efficient in the air. Say anything about her, but she really is a competitor. That smile she gave at the end of the free skate, that was such a genuine smile. She had it and she knew it. And then she went back to being stoic. A win at home is so special. I hope she celebrates like never before. She cemented herself as a favorite to medal, and not only that, to win Worlds. The only negative thing that I could say about her is that she doesn't give face, just like Sarah Everhart and Mona Shiva. Many don't really care, I understand, because at the end of the day, if you're at the ring, you don't really see their faces. But well, I kind of watch on TV, you know? So it's very hard to ignore the fact that she's not doing anything with her face. But if she continues skating like she did, I will forgive her. I swear to God, that little smile, that changed my perspective on the whole program. It's like she really let us into her inner world, and for me, that's very important. I hope we can see more of those genuine smiles from her. Loser! I hate you, triple flip! This competition was not good for Japan. Rina fell in her short again, and made mistakes on the free again. Make that girl believe that she is a true contender, that she would be the front runner if she believed in herself. Look what happened to Chaeyeon. She believed in herself and she got in the podium. She freaking won. Rina, believe in yourself. We believe in you. I believe in you. Little back supremacy. I still cannot believe that she popped her flip. Do you think she will keep her free for next year? It kind of deserves Olympic eyes. But if she does not go to the Olympics, it's gonna break my heart. Even more. And then we have Mona Shiva. I was worried about her going into 4CC, and she's done nothing to appease my thoughts. I don't think she's in the right mindset at the moment. And being with Hamada probably does not help either. Firstly, I don't think she believes in herself, which is really bad. Then she's brought up quads in multiple interviews. Well, I know of 2, but I don't know if there are more because, well, I don't speak Japanese, I'm sorry. We've seen this story before from the same coach, and I did not like the ending. I don't think anyone did. If Wakaba ends the season at Worlds cemented as number 2 and Mone relegated to number 3, I'm kind of frightened that she will spiral and she will start chasing after a quad for all the wrong reasons. I really hope that she knows what she's doing. I don't want to see her fall apart. Disclaimer. I re-recorded the whole section about women. The original section was full of bitterness, full of anger, and upon reflection, these girls deserve much better. The next section though, you will understand why I re-recorded the whole thing. Absolute losers, the judges. This is gonna be an angry rant, and I'm so sorry in advance. It was clear after the show that they wanted to give Chaeyeon a small advantage going into the free, and I was okay with it. She's a hometown hero, plus she skated a magnificent short. At the end of the day, I'm always surprised the Japanese get away with the edge goals. Then you see the PCS for the Justitarians and you're like, well, that's suspect. And going into the free, it's even worse. No disrespect to the skaters themselves, this is all about the judges. Do you really think Brady Tennell has better components than Rino Matsuke? How did you justify 5 points ahead of Rino Matsuke? How did you justify anyone being above Rino in PCS? But Brady does not have musicality, and the best musicality she has ever shown was back in 2019 with her Chronos program. Then Sarah Everhart less than a point below Wakaba Higuchi? You mean to tell me that Wakaba and Sarah are basically head-to-head on components? Wakaba has the best musicality across figure skating. For crying out loud, Mona Shiba received higher components than Rino and 2 points below Wakaba, despite the fact that it was very clear that she was in pain and dropped her performance in the middle of the program. Like, what are we trying to do here? Look me in the eye and tell me this deserves 7s. And then we have the people saying, oh, Samodelkina was underscored, Misha was underscored. They are at the same level as Brady, Sarah, and Ilya. They are not underscored, they are actually being judged correctly. The thing is, the people that you're comparing them to have the same skill as them, but they are the ones being overscored. And the skaters who have actually earned their components through musicality, composition, skating skills, or interpretation, they are not being rewarded. And it makes me so angry that a composition with so many great skates, where I should be happy that the US has finally shown its depth, it's all spoiled because the judges are not given components correctly, because it's all based on who you train with or where you're from. If we're gonna start looking at the passports, the eyes you should remember which nation has kept figure skating alive for the last decade, who sent 9 skaters to the Grand Prix circuit, of which 8 medaled and 5 made it to the Grand Prix final, who sent 7 men and 5 medaled, who is the pair that filled the void that the Russians and Suihan retirement left behind. This is also the main reason why I don't watch freaking Ice Dance, because there is so much drama and politing and all of this puppeteering with the skaters, and they don't deserve it, and what they deserve they don't get. Judge them appropriately. The Japanese have shown that they are not unbeatable. They are human, they make mistakes, they mess up, they get nervous, they get sick. Judge them accordingly. Because right now, it certainly felt like a message to the Japanese Federation saying, if your skaters mess up, we are not afraid of burying them. And the Japanese Federation in turn will drill their skaters to the ground. How can that be good for the sport? This time I wanna cry, but out of anger. So I'm gonna stop recording for a moment, I'm gonna go for a walk, and then I'm gonna return because I'm honestly seething. Alright, I'm back. I kind of calmed down a little bit. Days like this, I wonder why I love so much appreciation sports instead of something more straightforward like, the 100-meter dash or something that is just clocked. I'm just really tired of seeing the same thing over and over again in 4 continents and worlds because it always happens at the end of the season. I really don't want to sound like, oh, your favorites didn't medal and that's why you're upset. First of all, of course that upsets me. I wanted them to medal. Of course it's gonna affect me. But I'm also very accepting when my favorites don't medal. Like, I don't have any problem with my Aussie babies or Yunasumi not getting to the top 5. I don't mind that Kao was not in the top 5 either, because the others were genuinely better, both in components and both in tech. It's the fact that the judges are so unbalanced and are so biased depending on the passport you have that makes me genuinely upset. And that's also why I have a small section dedicated to small federations. They deserve the praise, and sometimes they are just left behind even when they deserve better scores. But since they don't have coverage and no praise and no reputation, the judges do whatever they want. There's also a conversation to have about the state of Japanese figure skating at the moment because there were no medals for singles in Japan. And kind of surprisingly, because my prediction was that the US was gonna medal in pairs and they were not gonna medal in singles, and it was the complete opposite. So, engagement moment, what do you think is happening? I briefly covered, a bit of the injuries and the virus that seemingly affected both Mone and Kazuki. I might or might not do an extra video before the preview for Worlds, just to address the elephant in the room, because the second half of the season has been hard on the Japanese for a while now. But I'm leaving this video here. I'm sorry that we had to end in such sour note. And more so because I really love this sport and I want to enjoy this sport and I want to enjoy it with all of you. The judges sometimes just make it very hard. Like, subscribe, and I will see you next video. Bye! I thought I was such a downer when I finished recording for pairs, and it turned out that it was the women's event that dragged me into the pits of hell.